Welcome, Super Smarties! Let the learning begin. So yesterday was the first day of April, also April Fool's, and I wish that our news had been an April Fool's joke. That would be awesome if we are all back in our classrooms today, but we're not. So here we are in our virtual classroom from now until the end of the school year. At least we get to be here, lest the internet go down. That would not be a good thing. So yesterday was April 1st, and it was Wednesday. So I want to add what yesterday was, what today is, and what tomorrow will be. So yesterday, yes. Y-E-S-T-E-R, of spider. D-A-Y. Yesterday was that day. That day, nobody wants to have that day, and the whole state of California had that day. Yesterday was, I'm not going to write that day. I'm going to write the name of the day of yesterday, which was Wednesday. Capital W-E-D, and I'm checking my smart card. N-E-S-D-A-Y. And it's just a telling sentence. And remember we said a telling sentence just ends with a period. So if yesterday was Wednesday, this makes it one more day than Wednesday. See a T, so it could be Tuesday, but when I look at the chart, Tuesday is going back in time. Wednesday's already back in time, so we don't want to go any further back in time. It wasn't the day before yesterday. Digraph for thumb, of spider, Thursday. Tuesday was the day before yesterday, but we're not recording that on our board. So we're going to write Thursday. Today, capital T-O, and I still have it written from yesterday, today, so I can reference up on my chart using what I already know. I can bring it down. Today is Thursday, capital T-H, the digraph of thumb, U-R-S, the of turkey, D-A-Y, the chunk we already know. Yesterday was Wednesday. Today is Thursday. So I'm going to find Wednesday. It's the only day of the week that starts with a W. I'm going to come down one to Thursday, the digraph of thumb. And one more day is the last day of the school week, which is Friday. So that's tomorrow in the future. Capital T-O-M-O-R-R-O-W will be face space W-I-L-L face space B-E face space capital F-R-I-D-A-Y. And again, this is just a telling sentence, so we're going to use another period. All three of these are telling sentences. So our stopping mark, our end of the sentence, is just a period in each of them. Yesterday was Wednesday. Today is Thursday. Tomorrow will be Friday. So if you have your composition book or a piece of paper, whiteboard or a white mat, you can try writing this on there. Make sure that you capitalize the first letter of the first word of each sentence because they are complete sentences. Make sure that you capitalize the first day of each day of the week that we've written, and also make sure that there's some white space or face space, and I guess this will be ace, the face space today. Mace was yesterday. So we'll put some space in between, and then we have a stopping mark. Okay, now I'm going to transfer this information, today is, up to the top. So I'm going to move this one down, and I'm going to take my handy dandy magic eraser and make it all disappear. I wrote really large yesterday. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, April 1, 2020. I want to fit it all in the same line, I think. So I'm going to move my punctuation down. Know what our micro lesson is going to be on today? Haha, we're going to do application of what we put into our schema yesterday. We talked about kinds of sentences. Now we're going to see if we can find the sentences. So today is not Wednesday. So I'm going to erase that as well. Today is Thursday. Face, space, capital Thursday. Then a comma, a breath mark. Then we're going to write April. Capital APR, April. IL. And yesterday was the first day, so what number comes after 1? 1, 2. The next number in the count sequence is 2, and the last number we said is the total number in all, and that's 2. Today is Thursday, April 2nd, or a 2, comma, and then 2020. I put a 2 in the thousands place. I put a 0 in the hundreds place. I put a 2 in the tens place. I put a 0 in the ones place. 2020. Another stopping mark, and again, it's just a telling sentence. We're declaring something, so it's declarative. Our voice pretty much stays the same, and so we're just going to put a period. Then we're going to write it numerically. So I'm going to use or, which means instead of OR, and then I'm going to put parentheses. Now here's why I'm putting it in parentheses, because later when you do math and you follow the order of a mathematical equation, if you see something in parentheses, you're going to start there first. So if we were going to record the date on a piece of paper, instead of putting all that information, we would start here first. So it's just kind of give your mind another mnemonic for later in math that'll just sit back there. So if we were transferring it to a paper, we'd start within the parentheses first and just write the date numerically at the top of our page. And that's what you do in later grades. So we start practicing it in the early grades. January, February, March, April, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 dash 2 dash 20. Close the parentheses. And if you notice, 4 and 2 and 0 have something in common. Anyone know what it is? Do you know what it is? I think you do. Reach into your schema. What do those numbers all have in common? They are all what kind of number? 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8. Those numerals are all what? What's the same? They're all even. So this would be an even numeral and an even number. This would be an even numeral and an even number, but this is 2 digits, so it's not a single numeral. It's 2 digits, so it's 2 numerals. But the digit that's in the ones place is even. Interestingly enough, the digit in the tens place is even as well, so this is like a totally even number. All right, now we're going to come down for our field trip. I'm going to move all of my punctuation back up. And here comes the bus. Honk, honk. It's time for a learning field trip. Climb on the bus. We're going to build up our schema. You can be Robinson's rabbit, and I'm the driver. I'm going to drive carefully. I have children and bunnies on my bus. All right, so yesterday we talked about punctuation. Today we're going to use application. We want to take it up to a higher level on Bloom's taxonomy. So I've written some sentences, and what I did to divide them is I put a green line between them so you could tell which one was which. But if you notice, I have no punctuation. Do you remember my song from yesterday? Punctuation marks are tiny, but there's something that we need. Stories and paragraphs without punctuation would be very hard to read. Every sentence has to have one, so you know where it should end. Use a period exclamation point or a question mark, my friend. Now these are something I bought at Lakeshore, so it's easy to manipulate them, and they're magnetic, but they're gigantic. So when I'm writing, I don't usually use them because they are too large for the sentences that I've constructed. But I want us to reference them because that'll make it a lot easier. And I moved our information from yesterday off the board into a smart chart. So these are types of sentences and ending mark punctuation. This is a, remember what it's called? Period. This is an exclamation point. And this is a question mark. I don't think I did that in the last one, but I'm doing it here. So my voice kind of shifts a little bit, so you have that mnemonic in your brain to remember that your voice goes up. The first kind of sentence, your voice pretty much stays static. There's a period at the end. It's a declarative or a telling sentence. I do declare. The second kind of sentence, your voice can be kind of erratic. It can move up and down because you're saying something with strong feeling. This is an exclamatory sentence. You're exclaiming something. It's a yelling or telling sentence. And telling with strong feeling. And it ends with an exclamation point. See the point here? If you took away the top, it would just be telling. It's just a telling sentence. So you want to transfer that information over. It's telling. But you're pulling some strong feeling into the sentence. You're pulling the feeling into the sentence. And when you pull that in, it leaves this dragging line from your heart down to the paper. So this is exclamatory, yelling or telling with strong feeling. Now the next kind of sentence can use either punctuation, a period, or an exclamation point. And that's imperative. It is imperative that you do it. It's really important that you do this. And it's a yelling, telling, or a commanding. So you can yell, tell, and command, or just yell, tell. That's why, remember telling, commanding is you're saying something that you want somebody to do, and you're saying it with strong feeling. Yesterday, I think I used some exclamatory sentence like, what were you thinking? That is not an imperative sentence. Unless you say, what were you thinking? Get out of the mud right now. That's complex, compound sentence. Now the last one, your voice stays pretty static, and at the end, it goes up. And in this one, your voice could be kind of flat, kind of strong, but you're giving a command, so your voice is going to change a little bit. It might be a little bit firm. In this one, your voice stays pretty static like the telling, but at the end it goes up because this is a wanting information. This is a giving information. This is a wanting information. It's interrogative, asking who, what, when, where, why, and how, and I need to know right now. So we're going to use that information and keep it in our smart brain. If we need to, we can reference our smart chart. So the first sentence, and I'm not going to sound out all these sentences. I'm going to give you the information because my goal is not that you decode these sentences unless you can, which is awesome. My goal is that you would transfer them onto your composition page or just general page of paper or to your white mat or your whiteboard. And then you would figure out in your smart brain which kind of punctuation should end the sentence so that it doesn't fly off the page. So the first one says, go outside right now. Go outside right now. Am I asking for information? Or am I telling information? Sounds like I'm telling information. Am I just telling it plain, or am I saying it with strong feeling? Or am I asking you to do something? Is that a command? Go outside right now. That is, drum roll please, did you get it? It's a commanding sentence. So we call that imperative. It's an imperative that you do what you were just told. Let's look at the next one. When can we go back to school? When can we go back to school? Did you hear my voice? When can we go back to school? How my voice went up at the end? Am I giving information or asking for information? I want information. So is it a telling or asking? It's an asking. When can we go back to school? It's an asking sentence. Here's the next one. I think you can relate to this. I miss my friends and teacher. I miss my friends and teacher. Now that could just be a telling sentence, or it could be a telling with strong feeling. So listen how I read it now. I miss my friends and teacher. Hear it the second time, listen to the first time. I miss my friends and teacher. I miss my friends and teacher. I miss my friends and teacher. The first time was different. My voice sounded different, like I had emotion in it. The tears were trying to come out my eyes. My sadness was going to squeeze out of my heart and come down my face and fall on the floor. So is that with strong feeling, or was it just telling? Let's try the next one to see, because we're going to use each sentence type only once. So listen to the next one. Learning is fun. Now I didn't say, learning is fun! I could have, but I didn't. I said, learning is fun. So which one is just a telling sentence? I miss my friends and teacher. Learning is fun. My voice is communicating it, which is why punctuation is so important, because either one could work with either sentence. But because I didn't say this with a lot of feeling and emotion, my voice just kind of stayed about the same. This would be my telling sentence. But if I had put this here, you would need to read it. Learning is fun! So as a writer, this is really important. You are going to tell your reader how to understand your words as you intended them. That's part of why punctuation is so critical, because sometimes the words lend themselves to easily figuring out what the punctuation would be. Like this, when can we go back to school? Even if I say it with strong feeling, I'm asking a question. So you're not going to use an exclamation point for a question, and you're not going to use a period for it either. But these last two sentences, they could kind of go either way. So as a writer, I need to make sure I put punctuation there that tells you as my reader what I intended when I put those words on the page. Because writing carries a meaning. So it's really important that I include all the meaning in my words, so you as a reader know exactly what I intended as the writer. So, I miss my friends and teacher. Has to be my yelling, telling sentence. So I have a commanding, an asking, a yelling, and a telling. So now I need some punctuation. Where does it go? Commanding, asking, yelling, or telling. If you said 4, telling, bing, 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 you are correct. The kind of punctuation that I would use here is just a period. How about this one? Where am I going to put an exclamation point? Go outside right now. I could put it there, couldn't I? Go outside right now. So either of those would work with this sentence. I told my kids it this way. Go outside right now. So did I use this? Yeah, no. But I could have. A commanding can use either type. It can either use a period, or it could use an oh, that's green. I don't want to use green. It could use an exclamation point. Now I have two that are left, a yelling and an asking. Which one goes with yelling? Exclamation point or question mark? Yelling. Yelling is an exclamation point. You say it with strong feeling. It doesn't have to always be anger. It could be sadness. It could be joy. It could be elation. It could be surprise, which means there's only one left, and that's our asking sentence. When can we go back to school? And I'm going to end it with a Question mark. So let's read our board. Today is Thursday, April 2nd, 2020, or 4-2-20. Here's our micro lesson. Remember, this is a brain bite, a schema snack. We're trying to build up our schema and make our brain flexible and elastic and smarter. Go outside right now. I would use an exclamation point. Go outside right now. I would use a period. When can we go back to school? Question mark. I miss my friends and teacher. Exclamation point. Learning is fun. Period. Yesterday was Wednesday. Today is Thursday. Tomorrow will be Friday. Now, when I was talking, I picked up a green when I wanted to pick up the blue. And that's the purple. So what did I make there? Uh-oh, I made a what? I made a mistake. Should I cry? Should I lie? Should I try and run away? Am I gonna die? No. Mistakes are okay. We make them every day, and we make them often. Now, what's important for a teacher and for a parent is to sometimes let the mistake just organically happen when we're doing things, so that you as a little person get to see that we make mistakes too. Mistakes are okay. Remember, mistakes are expected. We're all going to make them. Sometimes they're little, like, which color marker did I need? And sometimes they're big, like, uh-oh, I spilled something or broke something or left something somewhere and lost it. Mistakes need to be inspected. Inspected means look very closely at it. And when I look closely at my little mistake here, I see it was little, and it was very easily corrected. I picked it up and saw green and went, uh-oh, no, I want blue. You heard me self-correct. So I put it down. Then the next time I picked it up and said blue and went, oh, that's purple, and then put it down. Now, it wouldn't have been terribly wrong. I could have just erased it or even left it. I was just making them these colors because they matched my little samples. But it really doesn't matter. In reality, I probably, in a real sentence, would have made it exactly the same color that I made all the other words. So mistakes are expected, and they need to be inspected so that I don't make them again. But a mistake like this, I probably will make again if I just pick up the wrong pen. And the last thing is they need to be respected because they help us learn. And that's why we're here. To learn as much as we can, as fast as we can, for as long as we can, so we'll know everything that we can. It was great sharing this time with you. Goodbye, Super Smarties. Come back next time, ready to learn. I'll be ready to teach. Here's some pride. Well, that was my schema. Here's some schema. And some pride. And some love for later. Super teacher.